Hello and welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English Edition. Tonight for the highlights, we got competitive examination for the recruitment of Djibouti School principals, MENFOP CFEEF. And on the international scene in the United States, New Orleans without power after Hurricane Ida. Those were the top stories for tonight, our blood viewers. Welcome back. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, spoke early Monday evening by phone with the Ethiopian Prime Minister, Mr. Abiy Ahmed. During this exchange, the two leaders discussed together the relations of friendship and cooperation between the two countries and the two peoples, as well as the strategic partnerships that the two nations maintain in almost all development sectors. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed then took the opportunity to brief the head of state on developments in Ethiopia. The discussions were then extended to the main issues on the agenda of the IGAD regional organization. Exchange also focused on topics of common interest relating to continental and international issues. It should be noted that this meeting between President Guelleh and the Ethiopian Prime Minister is in line with the regular and periodic contacts of the head of state with his counterparts at the head of brotherly and friendly countries. The second day of hearings between the Republic of Djibouti and the United Nations Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities on the periodic report on the Convention of the Rights of the Persons with Disabilities took place. The objective of this dialogue between the United Nations Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in the Republic of Djibouti is to analyze the progress as well as the gaps concerning the implementation of the Convention in our country. Indeed, the mission of this convention is to promote, protect, and ensure the full and equal enjoyment of all human rights and fundamental freedoms by persons with disabilities and to promote respect for their dignity. As part of the Convention's implementation monitoring procedure, the Republic of Djibouti submitted its initial report in May 2016 and responded to a follow-up questionnaire in September 2020. This hearing is the final stage of the first periodic report, in other words, to present the various significant actions carried out by the country to honor and appreciate the path taken. This dialogue, after the opening speech of the Minister of Justice, Mr. Ali Hassan, various interventions continued. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Social Affairs, Mrs. Ifrah, presented the major actions carried out during COVID-19 and the implementation of the post-COVID-19 recovery plan. In the field of health, the Secretary General of Health, Mr. Saleh Bonita, he presented the measures taken for the care of people, especially during the COVID-19 period. This exchange between the committee and the delegation illustrated the common will to put an end to the discrimination linked to the situation of disability and to value diversify and by carrying a project of inclusive society. The Minister of Interior, Mr. Said Nuh Hassan, received this morning a courtesy visit from the new Japanese ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Utsuka Umo. The minister welcomed the Japanese ambassador, who thanked him for his welcome and availability. The discussions focused on the cooperation between Djibouti and Japan and the ways and means to strengthen it further. The regional situation was also discussed, notably disaster management, migration, and refugee management. The two countries have been linked by strong relations for decades and cooperate in many areas, including infrastructure, development, education, and health. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, visited today the training center for teachers of basic education, where the written tests of the requirement competition for heads of schools, adjuncts of middle and secondary education of MENFOP were held. The Minister and Secretary General, by interim Mr. Muhammad Musa Yabe, accompanied by a strong delegation, have supervised the smooth running of the written tests of the state competition, a visit that gave him complete satisfaction since the tests were held as planned. It should be noted that some 69 candidates have composed the tests of the state competition to fill the 19 vacant positions in the capital and 11 positions in the interior regions. As a reminder, Djibouti head teachers used to appointed by memorandum. MENFOP has decided to change the paradigm and to promote the culture of merit and competence. Therefore, a competitive examination for the recruitment of Djibouti head teachers of middle and secondary schools has been set up. This competition was opened under certain conditions and criteria, which is the quest for quality in teaching learning. Thus, each candidate has submitted a complete application with the letter of motivation, a statement of service issued by the Directorate of Human Resources, an assessment of the head of school, and a disciplinary opinion. Please note that the results will be announced very soon. The VIP room of the Ministry of Youth and Culture hosted this morning a meeting between the Minister, Her Excellency Dr. Hibo Mu'min Asawi, and the Business Attaché of the Embassy of Qatar, His Excellency Ibrahim Abdullah Al Shuaim, in the presence of close collaborators. The meeting started with the thanks of His Excellency Ibrahim addressed to the Minister for the warm welcome he received and congratulated her for her appointment at the head of such an important department. He mentioned all the youth structures existing in his country as well as the measures and policies adopted in order to promote and develop the youth, which is nowadays the most active department in Qatar. He proposed to the minister an official visit to Qatar in order to see the different structure dedicated to youth and culture. The minister thanked the Excellency Ibrahim for his visit and submitted to him a number of innovation projects related to the operation of the ministry. In addition, in order to establish a cooperative relationship with the Arab countries in general and Qatar in particular, the minister wished to draft a partnership agreement within the framework of an inclusive development and in favor of youth and cultural heritage. The youth must become aware of their cultural identity. They must know where they come from and where they are going, she said accordingly. Under the high patronage of Her Excellency again, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mu'min Asawi, the Star Cinema of Bawadi Mall hosted yesterday morning a ceremony of screening the trailer of the film Djibouti, made in Djibouti. Thus, this film, whose release is planned in December in Djibouti, interpreted by great stars of Bollywood, highlights the atypical landscapes and the most beautiful sights of the capital and the interior regions. On her arrival on site, Dr. Hibo Mu'min, surrounded by her close collaborators, is warmly welcomed with traditional Indian and Djiboutian dances. The event, in addition to the minister, brought together on site the Attorney General of Djibouti, Mr. Jama' Suleiman Ali, all the officials of the MGC, national and state personalities, musicians, and Indian artists, as well as several artists of the seventh art. After the official launch of the trail by the minister, spectators were able to enjoy the show that was offered to them, discovering a new eye at the picturesque landscapes of Djibouti. At the end of the screening, in a short speech, the minister immediately congratulated the producers and artists who made this film. In our special report today, we fly to Ali Sibeh City, where associations with the help of local authorities are taking charge to improve their lives. This is the case of the association Iftin, which has given life to the neighborhood called the destruction side of the city as a joke, a neighborhood long abandoned. Let's watch. Acting for the good of the community is in itself a noble action. For some, it remains a motto. In Asajog land, if associations abound, there are few who can claim this motto, acting for and by the community to improve its daily life. The leaders of Iftin Association are at the top of the list in this category of people dedicated to the general interest and to the development of the community. Acting for and through the community to improve its daily life, the leaders of the Iftin Association are at the top of the list in this category of people devoted to the general interest and the condition of their fellow citizens to the point of being able to reverse what was experienced as a fade. This is the action taken to revive the neighborhood known as the construction site in the southwestern outskirts of the city of Ali Sibeh. Mrs. Momina Uki, president of the association, and Ainan Ilmi, secretary general, are two fathers in the long process that has allowed this neighborhood, long neglected, to have water and electricity today. A real journey of the struggle. I acted out of pure patriotism and also because my neighborhood was in a desperable state. Those who found a job left this place. The particularity of our association is that it has given life to debilitated neighborhoods. It is by the grace of God that we have been able to do this, and it is because we have peace. Without peace, we could not have done anything. The problem became worse with electricity and water. People even found it difficult to cook. That is why we have set up two sustainable projects. We chose electricity and especially water because we can do without them. We thank ADDS for its support. We are now in the second phase of the project. The first one is completed. We are able to connect 8 houses. We provided them with everything, even the taps. The families just need to have water without worrying about the rest. Since the connection of the construction site area to the electricity networks, the area has changed its face. In addition to lighting, satellite dishes on the roofs, and then the pleasure of being with family around the small screen.
magaalada waan ahayn mana ahayn.
We are not really in the city. We were isolated. We had no water or electricity. Thank God that's not the case anymore, alhamdulillah. We went everywhere with jerry cans on our backs. Even at lunchtime, we had to go far away to get water from the Jano company. Our children studied under oil lamps. Whoever earned something went somewhere else. Today, we use refrigerators, PCs, and television. We finally have water. I live in this neighborhood. It is with the Iftin Association that electricity and water came here. This association has really helped us, the elders of the neighborhood. The second phase of the project involves the connection of 12 houses to the Onyad network. Iftin officials, having obtained the funding, are finalizing the procedures. Solidarity in action, additional families are being helped thanks to the initiatives of members of their own community. As part of the qualification for the 2022 World Cup in Doha, the Djibouti Sharks flew to Algeria where they will play on September 2 against the Frances and September 6 against Niger. For a week, the Red Sea Sharks have been undergoing intensive training under the leadership of their coach, Julien Met. The meeting Algeria and Djibouti for the first day of Group A of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers will take place on September 2nd at 7 p.m. at the stadium of Shahid Mustafa Bilda in Algeria. Just before their departure for the airport, the acting president of the federation, Mr. Mohamed Yassin, made a point of encouraging the players and members of the technical staff. Switching lanes towards the international scenes now, 16 years to the day after the devastation of Katrina, Louisiana was again hit by a hurricane Sunday, August 29. Ida broke over the American state at midday, depriving the city of New Orleans of electricity in the evening, classified as Category 4 when it arrived on Sunday at midday on the coast of Louisiana. It passed in Category 3 in the early evening, the same category as Katrina, which have devastated the state of the south of the United States in 25. It was downgraded to Category 1 overnight by the National Hurricane Center. Lionel Messi played his first 30 minutes with Paris Saint-Germain, which won the game 2-0 against Reims, a victory signed before his injury by Kylian Mbappe in this fourth day of Ligue 1. The Argentine striker who joined PSG on a 2-year contract earlier this month came on in the 66th minute in place of the Brazilian striker Neymar. PSG fans couldn't have asked for anything better than to cheer for the M&Ms, Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. By this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us and make sure to stick around for more. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.